And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why your parents told you to never talk to strangers.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you.
What up, horror lovers? Welcome to the Death Twitch Horror Review. I'm your humble horror host, Eric Harrison. And you know what? We're going to go a little bit more modern than usual here on the Death Twitch. Not too much, but a little bit. With the scary home invasion flick from 2008, The Strangers.
You are my girl.
I love you, Jimmy.
On the night of August 6th, Kristen McKay and James Hoyt came to the woods for a romantic retreat.
You make me feel pretty.
You are pretty. What happened next is not known for certain. I just want you to run.
This isn't happening. This isn't happening.
The Strangers, rated R, starts May 30th.
Okay, so The Strangers came out in 2008, was directed by Bryan Bertino, who had previously worked on a lot of film sets and film crews, writing screenplays in his downtime. He I guess he submitted this one to some kind of competition where it sort of won and then got bought out by a company. They were going to have some other dude make it. For whatever reason, they just gave the job to Bryan Bertino. They're like, here, you wrote this shit, you make it. At the first viewing, I wasn't sure what I thought of the movie. Upon watching it numerous times, I gotta say, I do really like this movie a lot. It kind of tried to go back to the basics, bring the suspense and the tension in. We don't necessarily gotta see a damn kill every 10 seconds. It's not full of sex. There's no humor in this movie whatsoever, unless you're a psycho. Unless you're a psycho, then you're cracking up at the whole thing. But as something I like, it takes itself very fucking seriously. But there's no plot to speak of. It's real simple. And speaking of plot, I was supposed to tell you guys, so let's jump into that for 2 seconds. We just kind of meet this couple who, they seem sad about something. Something happened. It seems like they might have broke up. Apparently what happened is he asked her to marry him. She said no. And now they went back to his parents' cabin where there's nobody else there. And then they hear like a knock at the door and they answer it. And there's some girl asking for somebody named Tamara. Nobody named Tamara fucking lives there. So they're like, that was weird.
That was weird.
See? She just said it. And then they just keep getting more knocks at the door and weird shit happening and fucking loud noises, and next thing you know, they realize that whoever the hell is out there with crazy masks on, they fucking don't mean the best of intentions. I know that was kind of a strange synopsis, wasn't it? Yeah, like I said, not really any plot per se. This is a simple, very fucking simplified home invasion movie that relies more on suspense and tension than, you know, gore and kills and sex and jokes or whatever. And I love it. And it's even in the cinematography. It's in just the color grading of the movie. Like, the movie just has this goldish, brownish tint to it. It gives it kind of an old school look. There's a few instances in the movie where music gets played. The music is always kind of this old school stuff. The killers are sort of dressed in like what looks to be old-fashioned garments and masks, which I think is a very interesting choice. Like I said, the whole thing sort of has a classic movie feel to it. I think the directing, the editing is pretty good. The directing and the pacing of the movie, the sound design, the obvious intention that the director and the team of filmmakers went into make this scary without having to always be in your face was a great choice. This is what brings me in to a movie, and I miss these kinds of movies. I do. If they were all like this, I guess it would get a little old and we go, ugh. Well, how about show me somebody getting their head ripped off and shoved down somebody else's throat? Come on, up the ante. But since most movies aren't like this, when it comes along, I really enjoy it. They leave a lot to the imagination. Like, seriously, for the first 45 minutes and shit, you don't even barely see the killers at all. You might see somebody in the background a little bit, but you just hear a lot of things. Creepy stuff might seem to happen. It leaves a lot to your imagination. Like, even like the character in the movie and you as the viewer, you're both thinking like, damn, what was that? What was that? What could be out there? What is fucking doing this? What's causing this? what kind of danger am I in? So that's all pretty damn cool. Like I said, sound design is great. There will be just long periods of silence, just fucking dead silence, where I get on pins and needles. I know people get bored. I fucking eat this shit up. So I'm just like, oh God, it's so fucking quiet. Oh shit, what's gonna happen? And then there'll be a jump scare, whatever. But they do a good job of presenting the jump scare and good timing with it as well. A lot of movies just have a very predictable, it's like every 10 minutes, here's a jump scare, here's a fucking jump scare. This one, they just stretch out the tension, the suspense, and the fucking silence for so fucking long. When it hits, you're just like, oh shit. Damn good job. What else do I like about this movie? Let me look through my notes real quick. Oh yeah, let's talk about a few things. First of all, let's talk about the killers, the strangers. It's a little psycho family of murderous home invaders. We've got Papa Killer, Mama Killer, and little baby killer over here. That's interesting. Now these characters and this whole movie, if you watch it, of course at the beginning it says inspired by true events, and then it gives you a whole bunch of bullshit about these characters. They went to their cabin and they were attacked and no one knows what happened. That's all Hollywood BS. This is loosely based on just the general idea of the home invasion, which is something that actually happens. It's probably happening to somebody right now. Let that sink in. Right? It's fucking creepy. But it's also sort of loosely based on some real cases like the Manson family murders of Sharon Tate, the Ketty murders in Cabin 28. 2 years prior to the release of The Strangers is a very, very similar movie, similar in the plot and the story, called They. It's a French film called They. I watched that too because I wanted to see how similar is it, and pretty close. Not completely. A little bit of a different style of filmmaking for sure, but it's about a couple that get stalked and killed by home invaders. There's a little bit of a twist at the ending to They, and I won't give that away in case you haven't seen it and you want to check it out. That one was also apparently based on true events that took place. Like I said, I haven't seen really any controversy about it, but it does bring up the question of, did Bryan Bertino get the idea from the film They, or did he, as he claims, got the idea from his own childhood experience? Now, what he says is when he was young, him and his sister were home alone for some reason, and some people would come to the door and they would knock on the door and they would ask for somebody that didn't live there. Some people would come to the door and ask for somebody that didn't live there, and then they went on their way, and him and his sister thought it was creepy. They found out the next day that those people were like burglars, and they were going to every house, and whoever, if somebody wasn't home, that would be the house that they'd hit. They'd go and burglarize it. According to him, that's where he got the idea for The Strangers, that and in combination with the idea that home invasion is a real thing. But I don't know, you kind of got to wonder, did he see They? Did he get maybe a little bit of a spark of an idea? Because the movies are very similar. One of the only differences is in The Strangers, there's like tension between the characters. They're kind of going through a breakup. They were unhappy. And the woman and the guy are very fucking much in love. There's your main difference, really. It's almost the same movie. I definitely recommend checking out They, though. If you're alright with reading subtitles, it's definitely worth a check out. I think I want to mention just one last thing, and then we're going to wrap this up. I will take things just a little bit more serious here. A little bit more serious tone. I know we joke around here on the Death Twitch a lot. I remember Roger Ebert's review of this movie. He said something along the lines of, very well crafted movie, but no amount of craft in the world could save this movie from its terrible story. That's paraphrasing, but this was his thing. Roger Ebert always was so down on slasher movies, and not all horror movies, but definitely the slasher. He just didn't get it. And I want to talk about that for a minute, because what is it? What is it about that? What is it about horror, and what is it about slashers? Why do we like it? Why do we get it, and why didn't he get it? I think the thing is that humans are fucking afraid. Dude, the world out there is fucking insane. It really is. And home invasion is some real shit. And it could happen to you. And I'm sorry to give you the creeps like that and to be that guy that's gotta tell you shit could happen to me. Somebody might bust in right now. That shit's real. The world's scary. And I think these movies, even though he didn't see the value in it, and a lot of critics don't see the value in the slasher genre, I think that we make them and watch them and then go to the theaters to have this experience collectively, to try and exercise our fear of the unknown, our fear of death. It's like riding a roller coaster, you know. It's out of your control, but after it's over, you get to step off, and you're like, your heart's pounding, your blood's pumping, but you're like, I'm safe. I was out of control. It seemed like I was in danger, but I'm safe. Like, it's the same thing with horror movies, and especially slashers. I think we go and we watch these together to try and exercise our fucking fear of each other, of the world out there, and death. And it's a shame that Roger Ebert, who was a pretty damn good reviewer himself, like way above me, couldn't quite see that. I think maybe he had a fear that was even deeper than ours, that he wasn't willing to face, and that's why he wrote these movies off, and even badmouthed them a lot of time. But with all that seriousness out of the way, I'm gonna give it a 3 3/4. Yeah. Like I said, I think it took a bold move to try and do something that was not really so popular at the time. Still really isn't. They went for a different formula than, what is, usually an instant hit. I like that. Even all the way down to the end where no fucking happy ending, man. I think it was very ballsy of them to make this movie the way that they did. 3 3/4 stars. Definitely got to check it out, but bear in mind, it's a slow, quiet moving piece. So if that's not what you're into, then don't watch it. But if you're curious, or that is the kind of thing you like, definitely fucking check out The Strangers. I got the shits. Sounded like I said I got the shits. That would be a blooper, right? I just shitting right off out of frame. You can hear me in the back. Oh shit. Oh fuck. No, I got this shit. Clearly I don't though, because I'm not getting my work done. All right, here we go.